And Security Secretary Mayorkas just came back from Guatemala. You're calling him out for limiting ICE from enforcing immigration laws. Do you think the Secretary is just trying to dismantle immigration enforcement? It feels like it.
Yeah, actually, it sure does. I mean, one of the big things that you have is that you do have criminal illegal aliens, and the ICE function is to enforce immigration laws. And when you do what Mayorkas has done, Secretary Mayorkas has said, what's going to happen is he says you can't even be by courthouses. We don't want them to be by courthouses. That's the number one place that you're going to see local law enforcement recognize an ICE hold for somebody who's a criminal illegal alien that is supposed to be removed from the country or taken into custody so they can have their due process. But if we can't get there and get to the courthouses, which is one of his directives, you're going to add to the problem of criminal illegal aliens being released into the interior of the United States. It's a further dismantling, as you put it, of the immigration laws, and it's actually a tremendous disrespect to this nation and his charge, which is national security.
Yeah, I frankly, I find it disgusting, and it also threatens the very safety of the people in the United States when these criminals, and we have no idea, where they are, what they're doing, what they're capable of doing, and yet the Secretary fails to acknowledge it.
No, that's exactly right. And you're also seeing movement. So you're getting some National Guard down on the border. They will be looking at logistics for sure. But also, Ashley, what's happening is we've had some stations shut down in Arizona. You're also going to see movement of cameras because it's too embarrassing to this administration to see literally dozens, hundreds of people coming in and getting away because we just don't have the personnel to interdict them. And then they're going to say that the numbers have gone down. That's what this administration is doing. It's all about show, not about substance. And so we will continue to have record numbers of people coming across this border illegally, in my opinion.
Yeah, and the administration continues to ignore it. I want to get to this issue, Congressman. What do you think of Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib calling to defund immigration agencies? She also called ICE terrorists.
What can you say? I mean, that's so nonsensical. Part of what gives us our freedom is the rule of law. The rule of law means that everybody's treated the same way before the law. But if you get rid of the enforcers of the law, then it will be the victims and the weak who will be victimized. And that's what's going to happen here. And so they want to erase borders. It's obvious that this administration is erasing our southern border. But Rashida Tlaib is just voicing something I think that many people on the left desire. They don't want enforcement of our immigration laws. They would rather get rid of the Westphalian state and move to some kind of regional governance, I suppose. I don't know what to make of it, but it is absolutely dangerous and absurd for those kind of comments. And if Secretary Mayorkas continues to doing what he does.
I mean, words fail you, really. I want to get to this issue if we can before we have to say goodbye, Congressman. You're one of a group of House Republicans who signed a letter expressing concerns to the Olympic Committee over American athletes who protest against the United States. What are your main concerns? What do you want?
Well, the Olympics are supposed to be a showcase for athleticism, but also for sportsmanship. Look, if you want to represent the United States of America, represent us. And then when you come home, if you have a civil justice claim that you want to make, you'll have a platform here in the United States. Don't do it on the world stage, for Pete's sakes. That would be like me running to represent Arizona because I want to trash Arizona to the world. That is really not the purpose of the games. The purpose of the games is to showcase sportsmanship, friendliness between nations, and foster, if possible, goodwill between nations, not denigrate your own nation.
Yeah, very hard, though, to stop these athletes, right?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, there are rules there, but they're going to flaunt the rules. There's no doubt about it.
Right. All right. Well, we'll have to leave it there. Congressman Andy Biggs, great stuff as always. Thanks for joining us on this Friday. Do appreciate it very much.
Thank you, Ash.